Well, at the time, we're looking for a recruiting coordinator at TCU, and kind of looked all over the country and asked a lot of different people, interviewed a lot of different candidates, and for what we needed at the time, Tony, came from Missouri and did an awesome job for us. Signed a lot of really good players. Helped, a lot of the guys he signed during his time ended up being big contributors to those four straight. I don't know if it was all four, but four straight College World Series appearances. So, yeah, and it doesn't surprise me his success as a head coach. His dad was a super successful, legendary high school coach, so he grew up in coaching, and he's always had a real good idea of what he wanted his team and program to look like, and that's certainly come to fruition.
And then one of the maybe bigger challenges for your lineup this week with the kind of pitching that they have. I know last week was as well, but what can you take from last week into this week to kind of face some of the arms they have?
Yeah, I thought we competed well. I mean, Skeens is a whole different animal. I know Dolanders was the preseason pitcher of the year, I think, in the conference. I don't think they're different, but they're obviously really, really good. But I think the pitching we faced from LSU and some of the other guys we've seen throughout the course of the season, the kid for Houston, Eknes, I think those guys are good preparation for us. But it's going to be a battle, and they're obviously, coming off a weekend that didn't go the way they wanted, and so I'm sure they'll be highly motivated to get back home.
Coach, you mentioned Sunday that you're probably going to shuffle some pitching around, so I'm just curious, what is your starting rotation going to look like this week?
Yeah, right now the plan is Detmer, Weinstein, and Lampkin, and we'll give Chris a chance to, I think, and hopefully shore up two areas, get a little bit, maybe one. Lampkin's been the most consistent starting pitcher in the opportunities he's gotten, along with Nathan, and we've been looking for other right-handed options out of the bullpen, and Chris hopefully can go down there and give us something that way. I'm not out on him as a starting pitcher, both this year and in his career, but right now it's a pretty obvious need on both ends, so we'll go with that.
Is there an update on Austin after the last game?
Yeah, he's fine. He woke up feeling great, and they got the X-ray anyway, and so just a contusion, a bruise basically. So he'll be in practice today.
Any plans to hold him out?
No, he's gonna practice today and get some live at bats today.
Schloss, before the season started, there was so much talk about this early SEC play. You're in the middle of it right now. Is it as daunting as people were talking about beforehand?
Yeah, I think the entire league's daunting, but I mean, I don't know. It's not necessarily daunting to me because all the teams are good, but at the same time, if we play well, we'll be fine, or we'll give ourselves the best chance. And if we throw some more strikes on Saturday, we're sitting here talking about a series win. But if I was 6'9", I wouldn't know you guys. I'd be in the big leagues or the NBA. So you can say if and whatever all you want, but yeah, it's disappointing that we'd had that game on Saturday, but I think it is what it is, and guys sign up for this. I don't hear guys talk about it very much. I haven't been in Knoxville since 1993, a regional, so I'm looking forward to the trip, get to see my son, some family, so we're excited to go.
Mentioned that game Saturday, that was one you were up in, and then they came back, and then the last two have been the opposite. Coach, you got down and came back, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you?
Well, it's kind of like last year, where your starting pitching is just so ineffective, always playing from behind, which is not good. It's a bad recipe, and we're trying to shore that up with giving Lampkin a chance. And, I thought we were very, very fortunate to get out of the first and second inning against LSU, and then we were very fortunate we had some balls roll through. And then all of a sudden you look up, you had a flare fall in, it's 4-0, like today's our day, And we're set up. We got the left-handed pitching we needed we felt like give us the best chance. And I mean, LSU deserves credit too. They had to get the hits. We were a strike away from being up 4-0 and gave up 6 runs with 2 outs. So, and most of those were hits. So they're to be credited for that. But I think we set the table. We lost up until last night, we talk about the free base war all the time. We lost 4 straight games in terms of the free base war, but we won 2 of them. So we're very fortunate to go 2-2 in those games. And told the team before the game yesterday, you can't. Last year I think we were 8-12 in those games, and 34-8 in the games in which we won the free base battle. Right, the turnover war in football. So we have. If we just throw strikes and limit free bases, then we'll give ourselves the best chance.
3 or 4 weeks ago, when we talked to you, bullpen, there's still a lot of guys trying to grasp some of those roles and throw strikes. Do you feel like you have a little bit more of an idea of some of those guys who have stepped to the forefront on that?
I mean, you've seen us play. You've seen, Aschenbeck, I think, for the most part, has done a nice job with that. Got to be careful how often we use him. Sadeo's been awesome in that role. We're going to have to look at him in other roles maybe, depending on how the weekend goes. Taking Lampkin out of that role on the weekend hurts. So Cortez is going to have to pick up some of that. I think Will Johnson's been great. Garcia, going to have to continue to spoon feed him innings and get him in there because he's done a decent job of getting better.
On the other side of that, is there any concerns with the bullpen? Maybe not before last night.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think Aschenbeck was probably at the end of his rope. And once we got the 4-run lead, I mean, he gave up a flare single to right, and then made a horrible pitch to the 9-hole hitter, wind blowing out, and then, probably just asking too much of Will to throw 45+ pitches or whatever it was on Sunday. I didn't have him down the thing to pitch, and then he came to me and said, "Coach, I can for sure finish this game for an inning," and I didn't want to do it. I wanted to avoid it at all costs, but then you're up 2, and when you're confident about the pitcher down there and you get him up and get him hot, then you might as well bring him in the game, And he obviously didn't have his best stuff, and credit Rice for putting the good swing on it. The left-hand hitter put a good swing on it, but I haven't lost any confidence in Will whatsoever. The more alarming thing is that we got to play better offense. We got to have the guys that have proven themselves as good offensive players in this league get better, and that's why I believe our best baseball is ahead of us, because I think Targach and Boast and hopefully Warner back, maybe get Minnick back next week. We can get those guys in the lineup and ask a little less of the inexperienced players. That those guys are supposed to be in support roles versus hanging your hat on them.
Change the order with Warner back full time now, Coach? Or?
Probably. No, I mean, he hit 6 last night. I would imagine him hitting, right in there somewhere. I mean, I like to have balance right and left, so probably keep him right down there because you want to be able to score in every inning. And you got Haas and Moss with such high on base percentages that you'd like to have somebody can drive some runs in hitting behind those guys.
What about seeing him in the field? It's obviously
Yeah, he'll play third base Friday. Yeah, unless I haven't seen him yet today, but the trainers, the medical people wanted us to kind of ease him into it. So instead of being on his feet out there for 3.5, 4 hours, just to kind of mimic a game a little bit more as a designated hitter, see how he responds to that, and then, unless he has an issue today or tomorrow, be able to play Friday.
when you mentioned Minnick possibly coming back next week, where is he in his rehab?
Yeah, he's swinging. I think today or tomorrow he gets to hit real baseballs. It's been swinging and hitting kind of some light weight balls that don't have as much impact on his hand. So I think today or tomorrow he gets to start doing that. He'll travel with us this weekend just so we can continue to work with him. He won't be eligible to play, I don't think. But the doctor said if everything progresses as early as Tuesday, potentially, depending on how he feels and if he doesn't have any setbacks. But 6 full weeks is Ole Miss, so I would say more likely that would be the time you'd see him back. The other thing is catching the ball. He has to wear some things to lessen the impact of the ball going in his glove. So just making sure that works for him.
And I guess once he does come back, how nice will it be to have yet another option in an outfield full of options?
Yeah, but that's a different option. You're talking about an experienced player who, man, going into the season, he looked as best as he could possibly look. He's hitting the ball for extra base hits all over the field. So So yeah, we'll get him in there and try to get him as many at bats to get him going as we can. But those other guys have done a nice job, and they do give us options if somebody else goes down.
Right.
Okay.
Discussion.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate you coming out.